Good afternoon, U.S. History 1. Today, we're going to dive deeper into the controversial issue of legalizing recreational marijuana. Our production team is going to be interviewing pedestrians of Westfield on their opinions of marijuana and find out how our community really feels. Stick with us as we uncover the truth about marijuana and learn the real medical and psychological benefits of its consumption. I'm your host, Luke Altman, and this is Legalize It. The beginning of the use of marijuana in the United States is in 1619, when a legislation in Virginia required farmers to grow marijuana for hemp. During 1910, when the Mexican Revolution was over, Mexican immigrants came to the U.S. and introduced recreational marijuana use. The racism towards Mexican immigrants and African Americans at the time created false information on marijuana. It was believed to be linked with criminals and caused unlawful behavior, after the propaganda and growing hatred for cannabis. Congress passed the marijuana tax in 1937. It pretty much made marijuana illegal, and about 30 years later, the DEA was formed and kept marijuana illegal along with its negative stereotypes. The negative effects of legalizing marijuana for recreational or medical use is limited, but some things that can happen is the drug getting into the hands of children through baked goods by not knowing what's in the edible. Another issue is that minor car accidents from DUIs of marijuana, which can affect your reaction time. And lastly, a big issue is that frequent marijuana use can lead to depression and memory loss.
It's the same as drinking alcohol. You're still, with the THC in it, it does affect your brain.
I do think that marijuana is addictive, and I know that's kind of a big thing. A lot of people say it's not an addictive drug, but I've known some people that they can't go without smoking marijuana.
The only solution that we would consider successful is if we were to legalize it.
Legalize it. Everybody should be able to smoke pot, and that's the bottom line. No.
YOLO,
Sure.
make the choice.
Kind of, yeah. I think it's like up to your opinion.
It's a good idea to have it, but if it's overused too much, then it turns into a bad idea.
I see it both ways, but I would probably lean more towards the legalization because I feel like alcohol is worse.
Yeah, I think marijuana should be reserved for medically necessary only conditions.
We would increase the amount of jobs in the U.S., which would help our economy. Legalizing this would also decrease the amount of crime in the U.S., because it would eliminate the underground aspect of selling recreational marijuana. Finally, this would also be beneficial in the medical fields. If all 50 states legalized this drug, then we would be able to collectively work as a country on improving the efficiency of medical marijuana. In a moment, me and my camera crew are going to interview a frequent marijuana user. Have you had any side effects from smoking, like a short-term memory or anxiety?
Yeah, I feel like over time marijuana will make you depressed, because you just can't, the small things in life you can't enjoy as much.
Do you think marijuana is bad for you?
I don't think it's bad because there's many other things you can compare it to, like alcohol, which when people tend to drink a lot of alcohol, they tend to do stupid things and not know what their actions are, pretty much. And it's just like when you smoke weed, it's just like it's not quite that intense.
Why, if so, do you think marijuana should be legal?
Because the government is spending a lot of money on the war against drugs already, and it's just something that doesn't really need to be illegal because of how much money the government's wasting on protecting all the borders and everything.
What do you think would be some negatives for legalizing pot?
Well, this is a negative for the user. A negative for the user would be the government would probably tax it if it was legalized a lot, and it'll cost a lot more.
Do you feel that marijuana is a gateway drug to other drugs?
I personally do not feel like it is a gateway drug. I have no desire to really do any other drugs, and pretty much everyone I know has no desire to do every other drugs.
So we've discussed the negative effects of weed, but are there any positive effects?
Any positive effects? Yeah, there are. For medical marijuana, you can go to a dispensary and get strains that have no THC, but they just have things like to reduce pain. and I find that amazing, because if you just wanna use it for the medical benefits of it, then yeah, it's really amazing.
Do you think that the positives outweigh these negatives that you listed?
Like, in the long run, I don't really think that the positives outweigh the negatives that much. But like, if you don't use marijuana that much, I feel like the negatives don't really affect you that much. Only if you are like a regular user.
It's a gateway drug to go, that someone's going to start doing heroin. I don't think necessarily that's true.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because me, I don't touch any other drugs or anything like that.
I don't feel like it is, because I feel like someone's going to do whatever they want.
No.
They already.
We're in 6th grade.
You picked the right person, because I'm an advocate of smoking pot. Absolutely. Let's smoke pot.
Yes.